Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to learn another motif, and this is for stitch-cation. And again, this is an octagon, and the octagons match the rest of the motifs that are in the Afghan. You will notice that there are 6 different types of large motifs, just like so, and then you're going to notice that there's a connector motif that joins them together. What's going to happen in this tutorial is that I'm going to show you how to do this completely from start to finish, but I'd recommend to you is that wait for the final round before the entire Afghan motifs are done. So don't do any of the final round on the final motifs when you're going to just leave those out, and then what you can just do is position it on a table or floor and then do the final rows, because you need to attach these to a neighbor when you go around. I also recommend the outsides are the exact same, identical on all of the 6 large ones. The only difference between them is where they're positioned, because the stitches are all slightly different going through the entire project. So at the end of this video, what I'm going to show you is that I'm going to show you how to do it normally, just in case you don't need to attach a certain edge, just like this. And then I'm going to also be teaching you what to do in order to attach it as you go, so that you don't need to do you don't need to use a sewing needle in order to put things together. Why not do it as you go and speed yourself up? So you'll notice that the gapping space is right down in here. You'll notice that that is where the small connector goes, and so each one of these octagons attach to each other in the horizontal and the vertical, so directly straight across. So there's no ones right in the center. There's no large motifs right in the center because they won't fit. So let's begin to do this, and let's grab up our yarn and talk a little bit more about that now. If you prefer the written instructions, they're available on my website, and there's a link in the more information of this video to access this particular one. And basically it's quite easy, and we're using Bernat Super Value to achieve all of this, and a 6mm size J crochet hook in order to begin. So this one's actually kind of easy, because what I've done with this one is that all up until the purple round, just like so, is that we're using the same color for 2 rounds in a row, so you don't have to change as many colors as you go. Again, the color changing is up to you, and we of course leave that creativity up to you as well in order to play around with these ideas. So let's begin. I'm going to be matching the same colors that you saw in the intro, and it's 2 different motifs if you're interested, but just to keep it consistent. So I want to create a magic circle to begin, and all of the large motifs, including the small one, are done with the magic circle effect. So you're just gonna put the yarn in front of your hand just like this, and then just make a point with 2 fingers, and then just wrap around, and when you come back up over the top, okay, just go over on a diagonal like this. I can't get my hands around too much in order for the camera needs to be in a different point of view. So what I want you to do is just slip your hook in between your fingers like this, grab this yarn, pull through, and before letting it go again, just slide it underneath the other one, the stitch or that strand right there, and pull through to lock it. And then you can just safely just grab it like this. Remember, there's other tutorials available online if you wish to learn more slower techniques, and this is a magic circle. So let's begin, and we're going to be using everything within the ring, and let's begin to do that next. So let's begin. We're going to play with the magic ring, and what we need to do is that when we go to play with this ring, we need to make sure that these 2 strings are always on underneath the stitches. So don't ever just drop one of these and just start going around the one strand. You need to go around both, and you can obviously just adjust it as you go. So let's begin to do round number 1, and we're going to start off by chaining 1 and 1 single crochet into the center of the ring, again making sure that these 2 strands are underneath it. And what we want to do then is that we need to do some chain work. So let's begin. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3 back into the center of the ring for another single crochet. If I could just grab that like so, and then the repeat pattern on this is chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet back into the center of the ring. So that's all you have to do for this. You need a total of 8 going all the way around. So just count the gap spaces. So 1, 2, you got 2 done already. So 1, 2, and 3 back into the center. Now if this is you're starting to run out of this string here, just shift everything. Okay, don't pull this string yet, just kind of shift things down and condense it if you need to. So remember, single crochet in followed by chain 3, and you want to do that a total of 8 times so that you have those 8 gaps to play with as you're going all the way around. So I'll be back in just a moment and I'll have that done. So I'm coming up all the way back around and I've actually almost finished, and what I want to show you is that you need to have a total of 8 of these gapping spaces, or the chain 3, and so you got to remember that on the very final one is that you have to attach it to the very beginning. So what we have to do is that once you get that last chain 3 in, you just attach it to the beginning single crochet that you started with. And so what I want you to do before pulling anything tight, just verify that you do have your 7 or your 8 gaps. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and this is your 8th. And then once you have that established, pull that short string and everything will become compressed right in the middle, just like this. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now, and we can cut that string later. Pull it firmly, don't over snug it, but just pull it firmly, and let's get ready for round number 2. Okay, using the same color, what I want you to do is that we need to slip stitch to the second one of the middle chaining 3 here. So let's begin. We're just going to go into the next chain that's available to you and slip stitch, and then go into the next one, and this is the middle one of the 3, and slip stitch, and then we're going to begin from here. So don't start your work beginning where you were. You need to be on the top of the center piece, just like so. If you look at the original that we had when we were doing this, do you see this? So basically what's happening is that these are popping out, and if you start in the middle of where they're joining, then what happens, it'll be out of alignment. So let's begin to do the next phase here, and once you have done that, you've got to chain 4. So this time it's chaining 4, last time was chaining 3. 1 2 3 4, and then coming back into the next chain 3 space. So just jump all the way to the next one, just single crochet. So the repeat pattern on this one is chaining 4, 1 2 3 4, and then coming into the next chaining space to single crochet. So 1 2 3 4, and next chain 3 space, and continue to do that all the way around. I'll meet you back at the end, and you can start seeing that this is starting to come together. Once you get all the way back around, you're going to then slip stitch to the first single crochet that you started with, just like so, and we need to fasten this off at this point. I'm gonna show you how to fasten off only one time in this video, and here it's gonna come right now, just to be able to hide in your ends. Before you do so though, you want to make sure that you do have your 8. So 1 2, and I'm counting gap spaces, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. And now I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim my yarn, which I just did, and then I'm gonna just yarn over and pull through. And what I want to do is that I want to weave in this yarn tail into this next chain space right here. When you go to attach your next yarn, it'll be in the chain spaces or in the chain itself, and therefore it'll be almost impossible to see this, so that it gets really well hidden at the end. Make sure that you do go beyond the middle of the chaining 4 space, because what's happening is that when you go to attach the next, you're gonna attach right in the middle. So if you go a little bit beyond, it's gonna trap it into that position. Once you have that done, just turn it around and just trim off your starting yarn and the other yarn, and you're ready to go for your next one, just like so. So here's what it looks like so far. Let's begin our next round, and we're gonna start off with the slip knot, and this is how I chain or start stuff. So what I want to do is I want to come in right into a chain 4 space. I like to start anywhere, it doesn't really matter. I like to mix it up a bit, it's up to you. So just go into a chain 4 space and just grab the yarn and just pull it through, and then using the straggler and the yarn leading to the ball, just pull it through, and that'll lock it into position. So now what I want to do is just I want to single crochet into the same space, and I'm trapping this straggler underneath, just like so. So now what we have to do is that we have to keep jumping to the next chain 4 spaces all the way around. This time we have to chain 5. So 1 2 3 4 and 5, and then coming into the next chain 3 space, just or chain 4 space, you just single crochet, just like that. So 1 2 3 4 5, coming into the next chain 4 space, single crochet, and keep doing that all the way around, and then single crochet in. Okay, I'll meet you back in just a moment. So a few seconds ago I left you as I went all the way around, and what I wanted to do is count the gap spaces. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so I still have one more to go. So 1 2 3 4 and 5, and then just slip stitch to the beginning single crochet that we started out with, just like so. So we're gonna keep this color going on, and what we want to do is move up to the next round. So like before, we need to start in the next round, but we need to start at the top here. So if I start right where I am, I'm going to be in the middle section. So I want to move myself up. So I want to move 3 chain spaces over as a slip stitch. So just go into the next chain, pull through and through, and go to the 3rd one. And that'll take you right to the middle. So what we're going to do then at this point is chain 1 and then single crochet into that chain 5 space, and then this time we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, coming into the next chain 5 space, single crochet. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, next one, single crochet. Please do that all the way around. I'm coming up all the way back around and I'm chaining 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then single crochet, or sorry, slip stitch into the first single crochet. So that verifies that. Again, count your gap spaces, make sure there is 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I want you to fasten off now. I've showed you how to do that. Fasten off and we're gonna get ready for our next color. Okay, let's begin our next color. Start off with a slip knot. Again, my preferred method of joining. So what we have here is that I want you to start off in a chain 3 space. Okay, and so let's begin. I'm just gonna start off with a slip knot. Just start, this is my preferred method of joining, and what I want to do is that I want to look at this project and I want to look at the round below. So this time what we want to do is that we want to play in the single crochets as well as the chain 6 gap, just like this. So what I want you to do is stick your hook into any one of the single crochets that are around there, and then just put it over and join. Okay, and I want you to chain 1 and single crochet back into that first single crochet that you joined to. So this round what we're going to do is that we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, come into the chain 6 gap and single crochet just into the gap, and then 1, 2, 3 for a chain, and then come into the next single crochet. Okay, so the repeat pattern is chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, come into the next gap space, and then 1, 2, 3, come into the next single crochet. Okay, do that all the way around. See you back here in just a moment. And now coming up all the way back around, obviously I still have a chain 3. Okay, get into the last gap space, and then final is chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch to the first single crochet that we started with. Please keep on this color. We're going to move up to the next round next. Let's move on to our next row. We're simply just gonna come into this chain 3 space, the next one, and slip stitch so that we're there. So we don't want to start off right on top of the single crochet. We want to move over 1. We now want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This counts as a double crochet, and I want to double crochet 4 more times into this same chain 3 space. So basically every chain 3 space going all the way around will have 5 double crochets into it. So remember the rules of crochet. The first one counts as a double crochet, so then you have 4 more to make it 5. Once you have those 5 done, simply just jump right to the next chain 3 space and begin again and make another 5 into the next one, and please do that into every chain 3 space going all the way around so that there's no chains or anything in between any of these double crochets that you're working with. You just got to keep them in groups of 5. Please do that all the way around. So let's begin our next round. The next round we have to start off in the chain 3 space here, so that means we have to move over. So we're just gonna insert into the next one and just slip stitch over to the chain 3 space. We now want to double crochet our chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, getting ahead of myself here. This counts as a double crochet, and we need to double crochet 3 more times into the same space. So that will, in the rules of crochet, that chaining of 3 counts as a double crochet, so that means that you have 4 double crochets into this chain space here. So what we need to do as we're going all the way around is that we are just simply just going to double crochet 4 times into each one of the chain 3 spaces that you run into. Did you notice I did not chain or put any gaps in between these groups? Okay, they are simply just jumping right over. So once you get 4 done in this one, simply just jump into the next one and put another 4. Please do that all the way around. When you get all the way back around, you're just simply just gonna slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3 that we started with, and then fasten that off, and I've already shown you how to do that. So we only have 2 more rounds. The next round is pretty straightforward, and then the final round is the joining, and then we'll talk a little bit more about joining at that point. So let's begin the next round, and we're simply going to join on the lavender. So let's begin and slip knot on. So what I want you to look at is that it doesn't matter which one you grab onto, there's gonna be groups of 4. Okay, do you see that? So you just have to pick and start at one of the groups. Okay, so just join on like so, and just like how I kind of showed you before. I then want you to chain 2, 1 and 2, and this counts as a half double crochet from here on in. So just put the straggler down on top, and I want you to half double crochet into each one of the 4 that you see, or the 3 in the next 3 that you see. There's a total of 4 per group. So we're just starting off, that's why I'm kind of confused. And what we want to do is that when you have that done is that chain 2 and then begin again. So we're just going to half double crochet into the next 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and then chain 2. So 1 and 2, and then jump to the next group of 4 and half double crochet into each one of those 4 that you see. Okay, so the first chaining of 2 that we started with in this round counts as a half double crochet already. So okay, so once you get that 4 done, chain 2, go and jump to the next one, the next 4. Okay, so please do that all the way around. When you get all the way back around, make sure that you do chain your 2 before joining it to the top of the beginning chain 2 that you started with. Please fasten this color off, and then we're gonna move on to the next round, which is the joining round. The next part of this video we're gonna talk about doing the joining round, and so I finished one off completely just so that we had a photograph of it, but in actual fact I should have actually attached it to its neighbor on the final round as we went along. Now you will notice in the instructions of this is that each one of these motifs attach to each other in 2 spots. So 1 and 2, so the large motifs will always attach here, and then the next one will attach over here, and then you have a space right in here which is for the small connecting one, just like this. Now do you see how there's kind of a right in the center piece right here, there's one that's standing by itself. You can never attach anything like that when you're doing these large motifs. So all of the ones that are in the center that are joining with these small connectors are done when you're doing this round. So what we're doing, we're concentrating when we're doing the large motifs, is that we're doing all of the attaching of the large motifs first before doing any of the connector spaces. We're gonna fill those in after all of the ones are all connected. So what we're going to do today is that I'm gonna show you how to start off, and we're gonna do it regular just like this. You will notice that there's no connectors on the outside of this afghan, so that these connectors are only on the interior. So you will have sides that are not, that look like this, and then the other sides then will be joining. So what we have here is an example of another one. See how they're just joining just like this, and so then the next 2 will join just straight down from each other, leaving that pocket right in the center. So let's begin to do the final round now. So let's grab on our yarn and make a slip knot. So I'm gonna show you how to start these and carry it along as if it's not joining, and then I'm gonna show you the join. So you can just choose any one of these chain 2 spaces, it doesn't matter where. So this is my lucky one right here. So let's begin, and we are just going to just join on and begin to do a chaining of 5. So the chaining of 5 is actually a treble, and the treble, it has then a chain 1 at the top. So let's begin to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we add another chain, which is your chain 5, which counts as a treble plus 1 chain. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So then we're going to treble again into the same space. So wrap and wrap into the same space and finish that one completely, and then chain 1 and then wrap and wrap. So each one of the corners has a total of 3 trebles with the chain 1 right in between those 2. Okay, so there's 1 here and 1 here. So let's begin, and we're going to start getting smaller, and it's just like the other motifs, is that we're gonna get smaller to the middle point and then reach out and get bigger again. So the next 2 are going to be a double crochet each. So 1 and 2. Okay, the next one is a half double. Okay, so half double, and then the next 3 are single crochet each. So this is 1, the gap is 1, and the next one is 1. Okay, so 1, and then into the gap for 2, and then the next one for 3. So now we're gonna get bigger again. So the next one is a half double, and then the next 2, the final 2 before the next corner, is a double crochet each. and now we're ready for another corner. So we wrap and wrap going in, okay, and get your treble in, chain 1, another treble, this is the middle one of the 3, chain 1 and then another treble. So I'm going to show you again coming across. So we're gonna start off and put 2 doubles in a row. The next one is a half, okay, and the next 3 are singles. So the first one is into a stitch, the second one's into a gap, next one's into a stitch, so it's your 3, and then we're gonna get bigger again and doing a half double and a double, 2 doubles next. So let's begin. I'm gonna show you how to join this next part. So we're gonna wrap and wrap and do our first treble, chain 1, wrap and wrap, next double or treble, and we'll come all the way back to the top and finish it. So what we need to do is grab our example that we have that we're attaching to, and I'm just gonna continue to attach it to something I already have going on, and I need to attach it straight down from each other. Okay, so right at the bottom pieces right here and here. So I'm not gonna worry about this. The one in the center is the connector motif, which we haven't got to that far yet. So what we want to do is that we're going to attach one motif right straight down and the next one is straight down over here, so leaving this gap. So what we have to just do is that we remove the hook, okay, keeping that loop, and we come to the next one available to us, and what we want to do is that on the middle one of that treble is we insert our hook down from the front side in, pull this loop through and chain 1 to lock it, and now it's joined, and then we treble as normal. Okay, so we locked it within that chain 1 and now it's permanently attached, and so that is the last treble going in, and so we come along, we do our 2 doubles in a, or that was a half, we do our 2 doubles in a row, okay, and then we follow through with a half double, and then the 3 singles. So the first one's in a stitch, the next one's in a gap, next one's in a stitch, and then half double as we get bigger, and then 2 doubles to finish before we start the next one. So the next corner we still have to attach it to that same motif. So we begin the first treble, well that wasn't a treble, so wrap and wrap for a treble, chain 1, okay, we do another treble and finish it, and then leave the loop. So we come back to the same motif, just be very careful you are getting the right one, and then just coming into the middle one of that treble, straight down in to the stitch, pull the loop through, chain 1 to lock it, and then just finish the corner with another treble. So wrap and wrap and finish it. So you can continue to go all the way around. There's nothing more to attach to for me at this point. I have one straight up, but obviously I'm missing one right in the middle. So you can see that these two are now permanently attached to each other, just like this. So what I want you to do is carry on going all the way around using the same thing. If you have more motifs that need to be attached, you can do so, and if not, you just carry on as normal as what you see. When you get all the way back around, you just need to join to the 4th chain up. Don't join to the 5th because you need to maintain that chain 1 gap in there, and then just simply fasten off and weave in your ends. So what I'd recommend to you is get all your motifs done and then do the final round when you're ready to attach all of the motifs together. So wait to the final round for all of your motifs before moving on. So this is stitch-cation. Join me again. We have more motifs to explore. We have 6 large ones and then 1 small connector to bring everything together. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as YarnSpirations.com. We'll see ya.